Good evening and salutations, my BNP fans. So, long story short, Liam asked Hope to give them another try. And I look at this in a couple of different ways. On one hand, for the people who've been watching the show for a long time, I'm pretty sure y'all are just annoyed at this, right? Because not only does it make Liam look like a scumbag, because let's just be real for a hot minute. If Steffi decided after they kissed the second time that she wanted to give them a try, this whole conversation would not be happening. So, in a sense, Hope is his consolation prize, which no one likes to be a consolation prize. That's number one. Number two, this whole ping pong between Steffi and Hope has been going on far before I've been watching the show. So I know that's another reason why people are just kind of annoyed with this. Now there's going to be this love triangle between Carter and Liam. The one positive thing that I will sit there and say about him doing this in a sense is that when you're gone, when you're not in a relationship with them, you have time to think, you have time to reflect. But the most important thing is that you have time to grow and learn from your mistakes, right? He doesn't feel the same way that he did and is willing to sit there and move past the kiss and everything else with Thomas. He couldn't do that before. I don't think he should have necessarily closed the door. He should have probably just been like, whatever. But um, he was hurt. So I guess I can't sit there and really say what he should or shouldn't have done. But the point is that he learned and he grown, and both of them have. So in some ways, you can see why couples get back together. It's not just out of being familiar with each other and being comfortable with each other, but it's more about that just growth and just having different perspective and knowing the choices that you made and knowing that you can sit there and make them differently. They do share a daughter, and why I don't believe that you should necessarily get back together because you have children, it is kind of an incentive, I mean, provided that you're in a good place and you're not just doing that for the sake of the child, it is an incentive. She's thrown by this whole thing. And so she pretty much is like, we moved on and, sit there and try to go back to that, to try to go back to that pain and everything would just be too much for her. So, they hug and everything like that, and Carter walks on in. Now, Carter walked in on another conversation because this is pretty much what they got Carter doing at this point. Carter walks in on another conversation that Brooke's in there saying that maybe she can get back together with Liam. Since Steffi's like, Hope needs a distraction. Hope don't need a distraction. Hope just needs somebody else to sit there and focus on other than her man, which I totally agree with. And that's when Carter walks in, and Carter's like, he says his two cents as far as, maybe, trying to go back to that toxicness isn't good for her. But, they both agree, and he's just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to sit there and leave and let y'all two speculate on who Hope is going to, what Hope is going to do. And I'll just work on her numbers and everything to try to get her line back on track. Now, Brooke overhears Steffi saying that, she wants Ridge to spend more time with Taylor. Spend more time with her. She needs extra love, whatever the hell that means. And so at this point, she walks in, and Ridge gets a call, so he leaves to go with Taylor. And long story short, Brooke is annoyed at this point. She's like, I don't need you sitting there trying to push Ridge back into Taylor. I need you to sit there and respect my relationship. Of course, Stephanie was like, well, you didn't exactly respect Taylor's relationship when she was with Ridge. So it's a little kind of weird you sitting there talking about respect when you didn't sit there and give that at the time. Which, to be fair, she does have a point. But she pretty much is just like, I want Ridge to sit there and convince um, Taylor to stay in town by mom by any means possible. So they go back and forth, and then they start talking about Hope, and Brooke is like, oh well, Hope made a mistake. I was like, please stop calling it a mistake. If you watch any of my reviews, the one thing that's a real pet peeve for me when people cheat, they do something like what Hope did, and then they call it a mistake. It's insulting. It's insulting to that person's intelligence. You know, I'm watching Days of Our Lives, and people are like, well, Gabby should forgive Steffi. I mean, should forgive Stefan of his mistake. I'm like, that's not a mistake. I don't think that people understand when you do things like this. This isn't a mistake. This is a choice. You can say it's a bad choice. It was stupid. It was self-centered. Whatever. When you call it a mistake, that's not a mistake. Mistake is when I step on somebody's shoes by accident. I bumped them. Whatever. I was counting money and I counted it wrong. Those are mistakes. Those aren't choices. I didn't choose to sit there and give somebody the incorrect change. It was a mistake. When you sit there and you sleep with somebody, you kiss somebody, like what Hope did, that's not a mistake. So when people say that, it's just like, what? I don't know if their brains just can't process another term for it. When Brooke said that, I was like, that's not a mistake, that's a choice. Then Rich goes to Taylor, and Taylor is still sitting there having a hard time trying to figure out, trying to accept this diagnosis, this heartbroken syndrome. Yep, I said that. That's that. And so, Rich is like, listen, you can sit there and talk to somebody. Because at first she's like, you can talk to your children, you can lean on your children. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that because her stupid reasons. Let's just be honest. They're dumb reasons. So I think where Ridge was Smith is saying is that we can talk to somebody about this. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, that's what she needs. She needs to sit there and talk to somebody about this. Talk about why she got to where she got to. I can sit there and say, and in a mean way, and I know this is mean, and I don't really give a shit because let's be honest, she's a very pretty woman. She can get another man, but she keeps sitting there holding Ridge to this high standards that it just comes across as yes, pathetic. She traveled the globe. You sitting there telling me she couldn't find anybody that was as good as Ridge? I mean, I like women, I like boobies and everything like that, but like you can't sit there and tell me that she can't do better than him. Like, and I'm not trying to clown on his looks or anything like that, but come on, seriously. Um, so they hug and everything like that, and she's not happy with him spending all this time with Taylor and everything because it's like she understands that they have kids and they have a friendship and everything like that, but it is human nature. People think they're really kind of getting on Brooke for being insecure, but it's like we all have our insecurities. I think with Brooke is that people don't like Brooke so much that everything that she does, even if it's on a human level, people find ways to sit there and really dig at her. I've seen comments that say, well, she's insecure. Of course she's insecure. Why wouldn't she be insecure? Isn't it they're telling me if you're in a relationship with somebody and their ex come in town because they have kids and they start spending time together, that you're not going to have a little bit of insecurity? That's normal. To ignore that is just stupid. How you perceive about that, how you go about that is something else. But on a level, there's no person that is absolute. No matter how strong you want to sit there and be, it's human nature. So yeah, she's insecure about that. She has a right to be insecure. They have children together. They had a life together. They have family. They have this connection. So yeah, she's going to be insecure about that. Is what she does with it. That's the stuff you can sit there and kind of like really get in, clown her or get on her about, depending on what it is. Now I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else. But if anything, write it in the comment section. And if I have time tonight, come to the live stream tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. Yes. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video. And hopefully tonight, live stream.